Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Phi and this is Money Philosophy. Thank you for coming back for another day of Tesla analysis. Today we will take a look at charts and project out the price target for Tesla for the next couple of days leading into Q1 delivery result. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I am a growth stock investor and a trader, and I'd love to share with you my investing and trading journeys. If you are also not familiar with my Patreon page, check out the link below. There I share with my patrons very regularly my analysis on Tesla and whether or not I enter or exit calls or puts options. Check it out with the link below. Look forward to seeing you there. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So here's the daily chart for Tesla. The volume today was 77% only. And the volume yesterday was about 95%. Today we have a little bit more sell volume than yesterday and more than the day before. So as you can see that the volume bar overall is going down from on the 28th Monday when Tesla announced the potential split. We had a lot of buy, and then the next day we had 2/3 buy, 1/3 sell, and then today we have 1/3 buy and 2/3 sell, but the volume overall has reduced, which means people started to get off of the high on the news, and now they're facing more of reality, and reality is actually good. We're going into Q1 delivery result that should be announced around Saturday, I believe, which is on the 2nd of April. Right now, Tesla has a gap up that was created from the split news, and that was from $1,010 on Friday of last week to $1,063 comes Monday. So that gap usually would be filled and probably likely eventually be filled after delivery news were to come out. Today, price action was pretty much consolidation. Yesterday was also consolidation, a little bit bearish yesterday. But overall, for the 3 days here, it looks pretty bullish continuation, which kind of in line with the flag, the bull flag that I drew here a couple days ago. My target is still at, first price target is 11.55. The second price target is 12.87. And potentially, yes, surpassing the all-time high of 12.43. So that is my current outlook. I don't know whether or not Tesla will get to 12.87 by Friday, but I think that by the end of the month when the quarterly result comes out, and by the month I mean April, when the quarterly result come out, Tesla will probably be close to there. Keep in mind that the 12 months projection price target from Gary Black is $1,600. I think that is quite likely in the next 6 months, not even a year. So keep that in mind since we have both Giga Berlin and Giga Austin are in production right now. Even though they're going through a ramp up period, I still think that that is a reason for Tesla to deliver an enormous number this year, not just 50% or not even 80% increase over the last year. I think it's going to be in the 100% or more this year, especially in Q4. I think by Q4, Austin will ramp really well, and it would be surprising a lot of investors and analysts out there. Other than that, I think the daily chart looks good. The breakout seems to be intact, and Tesla is heading up, assuming macroeconomics environment cooperate. Before we go into the hourly chart, let's take a look at the QQQ for the technology sector and see what the story there. Let's make sure that we are still trending okay. So the QQQ has now reached 200 days SMA. A few days ago when I made the video, it was right around here, and I had mentioned that I'd like to see the QQQ stay above 200 days SMA to be certain of the bullish resumption, and I think that it has, although today with a little bit of retracement, but I think overall the QQQ continues to be bullish, and hopefully it can secure its close by the end of the week above 368. That would be phenomenal. Let's take a quick look at the SPY as well. Once again, this is a story of bullishness. Today doesn't seem to be bearish by any means. If anything, it's a consolidation, getting ready for another wave. So I think overall, macroeconomics environment is good. Futures right now is slightly green, both the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq, as well as the S&P 500. But anything can happen from now until tomorrow. Going back to Tesla, let's take a look at the hourly chart here. So on the hourly chart, today is, like I said, another uneventful and consolidation day with the resistance of 1105. More than once, Tesla spiked above 1105 only to retrace back on the hourly here. So I think the high of the day was around 1113. And for tomorrow, the price range is on the upper end 1127, middle pivot point is 1097, and the bottom pivot point is 1081. I think that tomorrow Tesla has a possibility of resuming bullish because it has been consolidating over the last 2 days. And the fact that tomorrow is March 31st, the last day of the quarter, a lot of people would be expecting Tesla to deliver good news on the Q1 delivery results. So they probably would be buying tomorrow and Friday after 2 days of consolidation here. If I am looking at technical, it is a little worrisome because this does look like a head and shoulder pattern on the hourly chart. It is not as prominent, but it could be read as a head and shoulder pattern, and it could mean that Tesla could fall back down. If there is no delivery news coming up in the next couple of days, I would say that we would have to be very cautious, especially with the big run. If you look on the daily here, the run has been starting since the 15th of March. So it is well over 2 weeks now with the run. So I would be cautious. However, because Friday is the potential day where Tesla already have delivery news. However, with Saturday is when the delivery news is announced, and Friday is the last day of the week to trade without knowing the delivery number. I still think that Thursday and Friday are a reason for Tesla to spike further. Once again, the pivot points are guidelines. They're not Bible, because when Tesla does run, it doesn't really care about pivot points. And so I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow Tesla get to 1155. From a trading standpoint, if you have good risk appetite, I think tomorrow could be another opportunity to trade. However, we are looking at 2 more days until the end of the week. So expiration of April 1st is a little bit aggressive for my taste. So I would probably do April 8th or beyond, even though I don't plan on keeping my short-term call option beyond April 1st. So with that, let's take a look at some of the option pricing and see what we can do here. April 8th is what I have here. 1150. Keep in mind the first price target for that bull flag is 1155. So if I'm looking at 1150, right now it is around 2100 in premium, and that will get you about a week and 2 days. I would wait for Tesla to retrace first thing in the morning, and hopefully this premium becomes somewhere in the 1700 or so, or even less. I would be entering that. And if Tesla makes a big correction first thing in the morning, then I would even contemplate end of April expiration. Usually the pattern could be Tesla sell off very seriously the first 5 minutes, or have a huge spike the first 5 minutes and then it normalized out on a normal day, right? Of course, there are days that Tesla would spike up and never look back, or move down and never look back. But on a normal day, the first 5-10 minutes could be very unusual, and then kind of normalize throughout the course of the day, depending on the volume. Today's volume was 77%. It was really good the first 45 minutes, and it kind of died down from there. So I wouldn't be surprised that Tesla would consolidate another day before running on Friday, but I'm hopeful that tomorrow will be the day that it resumes bullishness. If you are looking at April 8th and go a little further out, you can look at 1170 right now at around 1600. Anything below 1400 is a good buy. If you are also interested in the money call option, which I don't always recommend, but some people in my Patreon groups love in the money call options. I think 1075 would be what I'd be contemplating. There has to be a optimal point where you don't have to pay too much for the risk that you're willing to take, right? And so I usually go slightly out of the money a little bit. Let's take a look at end of April. So April 29th, I suspect that it would cover Tesla earnings result already. So you will be paying for a premium with April 29th. Just keep that in mind. 1150 is almost at $5,000. If you are planning to cover earnings, I might as well just go out to May 6th just to buy you another week. And premium wouldn't be too expensive. 1155 is around 5,700. So for another $700, you could get another week. And this is as of the close of trading day today, March the 30th. But tomorrow, if Tesla retraces, these numbers are going to be substantially down further. Again, I'm not contemplating a long-term call option at this point because Tesla is in the middle of a breakout. I usually do long-term call options if Tesla is retracing severely. I'm looking at the weekly chart here. So we have 2 more days until the end of the week. We had a little bit of a retracement up top here, rejecting 1105. But the path from here to 1155 is very much clear from a weekly standpoint. There's virtually no major resistance. There might be one at around 1136, but very much wide open to hit the first price target before getting into 1189. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla ends the week at 1155. And if that's the case, chances are on Monday, Tesla might be retracing a little bit given the news of delivery, regardless of good news or bad news. RSI on the weekly still look okay. It's not too overbought, so that is still good, meaning it still have room to run a little bit there. Let me go back to a smaller time frame chart. This is a 30-minute chart. Once again, it does look like head and shoulder from a technical standpoint, but I am hoping that it doesn't materialize just yet because of the delivery news upcoming. So if you look here, you see that Tesla had a period of consolidation last week, broke out on Monday, and then consolidate Tuesday and Wednesday. My take is that it's going to break out again Thursday and Friday to end the week at the high note. And if we are lucky, it could even get back to a previous all-time high, which is the 2-day run. It sounds ridiculous now, but those of you who knows Tesla knows that anything is possible, both on the upside and the downside with Tesla. So those are my general thoughts there. If you are an investor, I think you're in for a treat. Tesla is primed to run up. It might retrace a little bit in the short term, but I think 2022 is going to be a fantastic year for Tesla. For those of you that are interested in trading other technology stock, I'm sharing with you Shopify. Shopify volume today was 94%. It does look like an inverse head and shoulder. What this is a shoulder, the inverse head, and this is another shoulder. Today's price action was not too encouraging, but it is also reflective of the overall market, either consolidation or slightly bearish. But it is not the end of the world. This is not a terrible pattern, and it still looked to have a bull flag, if you will. So if you look at this being the flag pull, this is the consolidation period. Even though it consolidates a little bit more than usual, and it should be consolidate up here right around the 800 level and not here, it is still within the bull flag, the body of the flag there. Right now, Shopify has not gone back to 50 days SMA yet. It is right around 750 for 50 days SMA. So if Shopify gets to above 750, then it will continue to fly. I am waiting for volume after it gets to 750. So there's a good opportunity to trade Shopify for it to come back up to $860. If you notice there, these two orange lines here, these are my gap that I note from back in when Shopify had earnings. It took a gap down from $860 to $799. And so that gap will need to be filled at some point and hopefully during this run. So that is something that I'm planning on trading, but I would probably look at a few weeks out, including all the way to May or June timeframe, so that I'm not overly nervous when it does run, and I will have time so that it will continue running up without having to jump in and out of the trade. Another stock that I am looking at is Netflix. So Netflix on the daily does seem to show a inverse head and shoulder somewhat. Kind of zoom it in a little bit. So this being the shoulder and this being the head, and these are the two inverse shoulder right here on this side and this side. And so it is primed to run, and right now it is right at 50 days SMA. So the same story as Shopify, it is right now flirting with 50 days SMA, rejecting it a little bit today, but that does not mean that it has turned bearish just yet. With the right macro in the next couple of days, I do believe that Netflix can fly to the 400s. So keep that in mind. It is probably a stock to observe more than to trade, but keep that in the back of your mind. Lastly, we cannot not mention Amazon. So Amazon had multiple bottoms here. Has spiked above 50 days SMA and 200 days SMA. It is now at the bottom end, give or take, of the weekly bull flag that I drew many months ago at 33.82, give or take. That was the bottom end of the bull flag. But it has retraced back a little bit. So now it is resting on 200 days SMA. So you can see this red dotted line here, the daily candle today rests on that. So tomorrow, if it does not lose 200 days SMA, which is 33.29, then I think it has every reason to spike back up. But if it loses 200 days SMA tomorrow, we will have to then observe 50 weeks SMA at 32.78. That is a very strong support, and I would be looking to buy whether call option or shares at 32.78. That is about $50 from here, give or take. I think Amazon too also have a bull flag that has started to break out. I do think that in the short term it will fly further and potentially get to 3,500. But temporarily it retraces with the rest of the market, which is not surprising by any means. The volume today was only 80%, and meaning that another consolidation day. So hopefully tomorrow it can resume bullish with volume. This is it for this video. I hope you find the information helpful. Comment down below if you have any thoughts or feedback or concern. Feel free to join my Patreon page where I share with my patrons a lot more detail about Tesla on a very regular basis, almost daily basis. Until the next video, bye.